inside the Salem Armory Auditorium. It's another year of Salem Capitals basketball, but we continue the month of March with more USBL basketball, the new league. But an old rivalry is today the Vancouver Bears take on the Salem Capitals. That's if you're not the mayor of Salem Kaiser basketball, you're at least like a councilman. That's Kip Ione right there. Ryan Goff with you. Excited to be back, paired up for another year. Can't beat Salem Capitals basketball.
You know, I was just thinking to myself, I miss this vibe. Obviously, sitting next to you, sir, is always a pleasure. But the Capitals and the organization do such a great job of making this feel like an event, which is not easy to do. It's the end of spring break. It's March Madness, NCAA. But the folks here, the crowds coming in, the music, it just really feels like a fun place to be.
And it's somewhat a pivotal game early in the season. A couple of two-loss teams with Salem playing fewer games trying to catch up to this Bears squad. But they're off a big win on the road against Yakima. They end up getting a victory by 2, overcoming a 22-point deficit. And as we get into our keys to the game, one of the big things that's changed with this squad is new leadership.
Yeah.
Nick Cortese is the new head coach of the Salem Capitals. Let's start with both how veteran leadership can impact and vibe with a new coach.
Well, I think if you can find the synergy between those two things, if you're Coach Cortese, you're going to lean on Zay Gentry, you're going to lean on Tyreek Price, you're going to lean on Big Cam to help you kind of find your way and find your voice with the team. And if you can get them into your system and into how your vision of playing, the sooner you can get them speaking your language, the sooner it kind of affects the rest of the roster.
Zay Gentry is the player to watch for Salem.
Yeah, you know, can we call him Coach Gentry on here? Is that allowed? You know, he does such a great job with McNary girls basketball, but Zay's been a steady, efficient influence for this team for the last couple of seasons. You know, 23.5 points a game. His shooting splits are through the roof. Just a really good decision maker that's also capable of bursts of scoring.
You could see the scene inside this Armory Auditorium. Excited to have these two teams. Granted, it used to be the Volcanoes. Now it's the Bears, a little bit of a different color scheme. And they have a guy in Naz Amos who he can score, has a lot of tools.
And I think you're going to see him for the audience. You're going to see him attacking the rim. This is a guy that he's not like some of the other scorers in the league are 6'5", 6'7". Naz is really off the bounce, electric, off with his power and his quickness. So it's going to be a challenge for the help rotation of the Capitals.
It's really excited. Big thanks to Jackson's Body Shop for sponsoring our broadcast booth so you can get a chance to see this game. You have Amos getting the start along with Larry Wickett. Marcus Golder, who's kind of a traditional guy in this rivalry.
Yep.
He's on that storyline.
I think, you know, but between Marcus and Zay, I wonder how many times they've actually played each other as Capitals in the Vancouver, whatever that happens to be the nickname. But I think it's an interesting match. I'm excited to see Big Cam Benzel again. He plays with a nice blend of patience, but also can really finish at the rim. And also for you and me, getting to see some of the new players. You know, Brett Hollins, RJ Valise is a Willamette Valley guy, a name known throughout the Valley. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great matchup because it's a rivalry game. Who knows what'll play out, but we're excited you're with us as the USBL brings you Salem Capitals and Vancouver Bears next on Bobby P. Media. inside the Salem Armory Auditorium. Time for some USBL basketball. Jason Conrad, the owner of the Salem Capitals, getting the crowd hyped.
You know, I think that's what I mentioned earlier about the atmosphere and the vibe. It all starts with the boss man. You know, I think him and his family bring such an authentic approach to this. They really want it to be a community family event. And you can see just from the sheer number of folks that are part of the production of today, how much they care about it.
And there's the Ox, looking good. One of the best logos, one of the best mascots in all of professional basketball, as the Capitals come in with a 3-2 record. Vancouver at 5-2 and has won 3 of 4 on the road. That's the challenge, because you're making trips to Yakima. This year they'll be making trips to Bakersfield and Los Angeles. Teams that this Vancouver squad has already played in that early part of the schedule a couple weeks ago. They went down there and swept both San Diego and Bakersfield.
You know, I think one of the things that's going to be a key that lends them to the formidable opponent you just mentioned, they're third in the league in turnover rate, so they take care of the basketball. I think a lot of that has to do with Nas, probably, but that makes it you can travel anywhere if you can take care of the ball.
You see the standings: Seattle at 6-0, Vancouver at 5-2, with Los Angeles and San Diego separating Salem from the top 3. Again, the Capitals coming with a 3-2 record, so they technically have pulled even with San Diego coming into this game. Rick Bingham, Aaron Haugen, and Chase Janowick are the officials for this USBL game. My pleasure to be here with Kip. It's our first time getting to call a Salem Capitals game. Big thanks to Seth and TJ for holding it down a couple weeks ago while I was at the OSAA State Championships. In the black uniforms, they're calling them the dark sets for this one with accents of pink. Salem has the basketball first.
We might lead the league in uniform sets.
And the best looks by all means. Nice steal by Amos. And Vancouver has its first trip. You have Amos leading the team in scoring with this lineup that's on the floor. And the first one there not going, but there goes the former Capitals player Boozer with the putback.
A little friendly fire there from Booze on the putback. But right away, you saw one of the things the Capitals have struggled with is turnovers. First possession, coach isn't going to want to see a turnover like that, and that starts the game for Vancouver.
Yeah, you mentioned Vancouver, 3rd in the league, 6th for the Capitals. The pull-up hangs on the rim. One of the new additions, RJ Valise, gets the bucket.
And you know, RJ doesn't have a three-point shooting percentage number, but he's shooting 56 from the floor. So you know that mid-range game he's really comfortable with.
Like him on the defensive side. He was a player of the game against Yakima when this Salem Capitals team was at home, but another slice to the rim, and Vancouver gets 2 more.
There's a familiar face, Marcus Golder.
And on the ground, we're going to have our first jump ball. I was talking to somebody who was not familiar with the actual jump ball that exists in pro basketball. Said, why don't they have the arrow? And it's like, got to jump it up. And I will admit, you see a good amount of jump balls in USBL hoops.
And sometimes the matchups are like this, where Booze is 6'8", 6'9", and RJ's just trying to survive out there.
Tried to jump early. And Boozer, who celebrated a birthday a couple weeks back.
He's in great shape. You know, I think last year's injury probably hurt him a little bit, but he looks like he's gotten himself ready to be an impact player for Vancouver.
And you got Kayinda at 6'10", setting that screen on the far side, trying to free up some space for Golder. 9 to shoot, and he puts one up.
We got caught on the switch there. Zay had a hard time boxing out that size.
Boozer leans in on Holland's front rim. An empty trip for Vancouver, a couple minutes in, and the pass almost stolen. Boozer playing aggressive early.
See, there's a pop in his step that just wasn't there as he was recovering last year. This is the player he's wanted to show off as.
One injury to note: Mo Smith not in uniform. Jack Boydell also not dressed for this contest. Far side, Valise off the screen. I haven't got the ball much to Gentry yet. Instead, Valise has the move. Almost had the score.
Good take. Size bothered him down there, but great take. Early Vancouver switching ball screens, something to pay attention to.
There's Amos to the rim.
There's his first paint touch. I think we're going to see a lot of that down there, and depending on how the Capitals want to respond defensively.
One of the sets for the Capitals has a ball screen early. Not on this trip. There's Hollins finding Cam on the right block. And one.
You know, I think that's something Brent Hollins can do. He's not a big-time scorer, but he's got good feel for the game. Having played at Southern Oregon for Coach Matt Zozo, that was a great interior pass to the big fella.
amazing. You talked about SOU's coach who you just referenced, former teammate of yours?
Absolutely. Zoza and I, the last Willamette University Bearcat team to win the NWC tournament, beat your Pioneers and the Wildcats on the way. I'm sorry to say that out loud. 2000.
Happens. Former coach of the Willamette Bearcats as well as a player. Kip, I'm the play-by-play voice of your now Lewis and Clark River Otters.
See, and that's, I got to get used to that. That is so strange to me. But good for them. New branding.
Yep.
New era.
New logo, too. Looks pretty good. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
I'll have to show it to you. Check it out. Everyone at golcathletics.com. Give a shout out to my other side as the foul there. There's Angel Jr., man, Carlos. He became a critical part of this team. Los last year really kind of became that middle guy that connected a guy who can score versus a guy who can distribute.
Yep, he can space the floor with shooting, can put it on the deck, find people. It's a nice, versatile option for the Caps.
Yeah, the first foul charge to Salem. First one on Los. Capitals have a light set this year as a steal by Los. Run it, bounce pass, RJ. Zay has an open look, hit it.
I mean, he's shooting 56% from three, which is, I don't even want to say it out loud for worry of jinxing him, but that's a crazy good number.
Yeah, he's been stellar, and this Capitals team was also really good inside the arc, too. That mid-range worked for them last year. We'll see how effective it is as they have the early 4-point lead. Nice high-low game with the dunk.
That's going to be hard for Salem to defend all day. Just the sheer size that Vancouver puts on the floor.
Yeah, you have 6'10" Kayenda who had that dunk, long pass, and it's turned over. You mentioned turnovers early, just about 5 minutes in, and already Salem's had a few.
And I think that's something that happens when you have a new coach, new system, new priorities maybe, and what we're looking for in transition. Just guys getting used to what our eyes are supposed to see.
Calvin Hampton on the bench for the Vancouver Bears. It's going to take a second, just like it took a few moments to get ready and warmed up to this USBL basketball, including the ball itself.
I noticed the new design.
Feed it up there with just 3 to shoot, and it clutched the rim.
That new ball had a nice bounce on that one for the Bears.
Bucket for Wickett, who also is 6'5", part of that size you mentioned. Los crossover on the ISO, finds space to the rim.
Great take. It's going to be that battle all day. Is their size going to overwhelm, or is it going to be the spacing and the skill of the Capitals?
Breaks what was an 8-8 tie. Capitals by a 2-point margin, 10-8. There's Boozer. He's ready.
Tough. Did he have that in his arsenal a year ago? Because if that's there, that makes that ball screen even more deadly if they can invert it where he's the ball handler.
Beg your pardon, we're into the 7 minutes, not the 6-minute mark early. They changed out the scoreboard, got the Capitals blue in the game clock, which is beautiful to see as Cam lets traffic fly by.
He let his old teammate know about it too, didn't he? But great 2-foot stop and patience.
He's a fundamentally sound guy as well as just having great athleticism. Continues to grab boards too. A little bit slower of a start at 10 per game though still. It's cool to know that's a slow start for Cam.
Right.
Ball turned over and Vancouver gives it back. It's a 12-10 game early in this contest.
That's 6 consecutive trips the Bears have run some version of ball screen. So the entire defensive game plan is going to have to revolve around how the Capitals want to deal with that.
First time Joey Potts is in the game. He's played a couple so far for the Capitals. He takes out Cam.
A little height advantage there. Obviously not as physical as Cam, but that long, lengthy frame.
And no one's going to get in front of Valise. How about to the rack? And he was looking for the end one.
Great patience there.
At the 6:58 mark, just past 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. First Vancouver-Salem matchup in this building. In the USBL era, back it in. And the fadeaway clicks the rim. Kayenda no good. Teammates hug on one side. Outlet pass to Potts on the other. And Kayenda got back.
Recovery.
That was great. Feed it ahead. Wickett to the rim. Off to the right. Putbacks there.
There's just some of that length is going to be a problem all game. At the rim for us and defensive rebounding.
Getting a little wild. Midway point of the first. Salem with a 3-2 record. Vancouver at 5-2 on the year.
You can see spacing-wise right now, we're a little jammed on the left side.
Hollins, nice fadeaway to Solid. Didn't touch the rim, so no new shot clock, and Valise is blocked. Amos running the floor, and he's fouled.
I've never been one to argue with officials, ever. But that's one where you're going to look for consistency at contact at the rim. If you're the Capitals, you'd like to see it on both sides.
There's a timeout with 5:56 remaining in the first. Salem has the lead, 14-12. You see the hammer. That's going to send Vancouver to the foul line when we come back.
Give it up for the Salem Capital Champions!
14-12, free throws for Vancouver. And Amos makes the second, so 1 point deficit midway in the first for Vancouver.
You know, that the 3 turnovers so far that Vancouver's been able to get from us, because really, Salem's shooting 60% from the floor. So just taking care of the ball would be the main focus out of that first timeout.
It's Los with Hollins, Valise, Potts, and Zay. It's been a quiet start. Another jump ball, second of the night. You mentioned offensive rebounding has been critical in this game.
And, you know, and Vancouver's already got 4. You know, those turn into second chance points. So sometimes it's also turn into foul trouble for our bigs if we're out of position.
Boozer has 6, 5 for Benzel, so it has been played in the front court primarily. How about Capitals winning that jump ball? And Valise just off the mark, good lead pass. Tracking it down, Amos, pull up. That one rolls out.
That's one of those, if you're going to take that pull up in a 3-on-1, you better make it.
Nice cleanup, another offensive rebound. There's Golder again.
Veteran, around the rim.
That's 4 so far.
Much better spacing on this possession for us. A little more floor balance in the last couple trips.
Hollins out of the corner. Double team, someone's open, squeeze it to Potts, and he goes right up.
Pivot. Nice catch in traffic.
Scoring just a couple of points per game. And they need to have big minutes. You're missing Mo Smith in this game. They don't have Joel Meskey, the new big out of Pacific University, in the uniform as well.
You know, I think that deep 3 there from Vancouver is something the Caps will live with.
Kind of missed it. Transition. Gentry almost got one. Track it to the corner. White jerseys for Vancouver. Bears 3-1 on the road this year.
RJ Valise's shoulders are going to be very sore tomorrow. He's having to navigate a ball screen almost every possession.
Gonna have to go over there to the physical therapy project, get some work done. 3 seconds left, kinda. Golder, sidestep.
He got it off.
And I heard it in your voice, you knew that was going in.
You know, there was something about it. After that shot fake side dribble, he looked pretty comfortable with that move.
That's that old coach on the sideline at Willamette going, oh no.
He got it.
4 minutes left in the first. Los for the answer. Been a struggle from deep so far for the Capitals. Feed it ahead. Amos over Potts.
That's one that'll drive you nuts as a coach. Transition defense, layup at the rim off one outlet pass.
Another second chance, and this time Wickett draws the foul.
You know, it's hard when you're at a size disadvantage as the coach because you don't want to end up complaining to the refs over and over, like, save us, because there's only so much they can do. Some of this is going to have to be putting rear ends on hips.
It's the third foul of the Capitals in the period, first on Potts. A couple of fouls on Los and Valise early. Vancouver side, you had Boozer pick up the only foul before that timeout.
There's something I just noticed there. Joey Potts was helping Booze with the two different keys on the floor. Booze was lined up on the inside one, which I think is the college high school one. But we're playing that outside, more space and a key in a professional game.
Curtis Hill, the owner for Vancouver, helping on the bench as well. Salem brings in Tyreek Price. Good to see Ty back out there.
Another veteran of the Caps' experience and team.
21-5-9 in his 3 prior coming into the weekend. And then you have the handles with Caleb Hughley.
Yep. That's a new addition to the roster. Excited to see him. Length on the ball.
Nice feed, and there's a rejection. TJ Doman was going to the rim. Kayenda was ready for that one. You're talking a lot of these new faces. You're going to get to see all of them work together right now.
Absolutely. That was a great one there from TJ. Getting to the paint, that's where Vancouver's length is an issue, but also knowing they're there as shot blockers, kicks are available.
Right on that backside, too. Also, Devontae Cleveland in the game for the first time. His shot hangs off. No
V8
good.
immediately to his specialty. At the rim, crafty.
So you got 4 new players on the floor with Potts for Salem. And there's a drive, another Golder take.
Transition defense. Who's got the ball? Who's got next pass? Something early in the season, you see that. Almost every team struggles because you can't really simulate it as well as in the game against an opponent coming downhill.
Had a couple lead changes early going. First free throw goes through. Look at the replay. Golder just took it right there.
You know, and that's what he's been doing since he was at Clackamas High School. Straight line, explosive drives.
Clackamas Cavaliers boys team were back at the final site tournament this year.
Really good season from them, too. 6A was a lot of fun this year. A lot of good teams.
Tualatin wins the boys title. And a little bit of a shocker. Tualatin ousted on a buzzer beater in the semifinals. And you have South Medford advancing to the championship game. V8 floater with 4 on the shot clock. Not there. Tippin. Doman, no good.
But you'd like to see that. 3 Salem Capitals at the rim.
Bounce pass, screen and roll. And it's there. Kayenda's patient.
That's what's hard is that if we're going to switch it, we just have an automatic size disadvantage. But also getting over it over and over and over is hard.
Largest lead either team with 2.5 left in the first. Hughley. That one popped out. Nothing's dropping on that right side basket. Amos pushing up. Not a lot of depth so far used by Vancouver. Starter still out there. Left elbow jumper, no good.
Nobody on Golder. No, I say nobody put a body on Golder. Again, another old board given up by the Caps.
2:16 remaining in the first. That one's charged to Hughley as well. That's his second. And there's a timeout. Vancouver on a run. You had Salem up 14-10, and the Bears have picked up 13 of the last 15 points in this rivalry matchup.
I think that's a good timeout there from Coach Nate. You could feel a little listlessness, a little confusion with this second group, but that's natural early in the season and 5 new players on the floor at once. Good timeout, get them settled, reestablish. Hey, let's just make sure we're in our spots before we worry about everything else. Let's get our spacing dialed in.
We'll come back with more from Salem, Oregon, 23-16 Bears on USBL. 23-16, Vancouver's pulling away. We mentioned how much they've outscored Salem. Will make sense. Caps have just hit 1 of their last 8 shots.
It's a compounding problem. You're missing shots. They're getting out in transition. You're trying to scramble to find the ball, and we're giving up. The Capitals are giving up all kinds of old boards. 17-6 deficit on the glass right now. Tough to win.
10-2 rebounding margin right now for Vancouver the last 4 minutes. That's how they've put together this run, and a free throw to boot. Golder's up to 9 points in the game. He's had 7 in that same 4-minute stretch.
And he's been crashing the boards. He's been out in transition. And rebounding is such a mindset that as a coach, you go back and forth between, is it our size? Is it our commitment to boxing out? Or are we just not giving a day?
Golder, new league, same results, consistent as ever. He has his Vancouver team up by 9. Doman, Hughley. Outside to V8, got a step.
Got to the paint, great one more reversal idea.
Doman back out, head fake from Ty. Price pull up baseline, buried.
You know, at certain levels, you'd want him to take that 3, but Ty's so good at that pull-up game, and the pros get to their spots where they know they're effective.
Came and watched practice on Wednesday. Ty looked like the best player on the floor by a mile. They were playing up and down with 3 different squads. Winner keeps the ball. Ty probably had possession 9 straight times, and he was part of the reason they were keeping the basketball, too. Him and V8 were sharing the floor. Doman let a guy fly by, and he's fouled from the bottom side of that, yet Boozer rising up.
That's one of those where the mishandle that TJ had helped him out a little bit, got the defense off kilter. One thing to pay attention to, so many great rim attacks from the Caps, but there's literally 3 shot blockers jumping. Either you're going to have to finish through that size or trust your teammates on your kickouts.
They actually may have called that foul on Boozer. I think that's what I heard. One of the things about the USBL, this was a league going back to 1984. It was built out to be a professional spring-summer league, trying to just get meaningful opportunities to kind of find that elite basketball talent. And over the course of the 80s into the 2000s, you had guys like Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb, historic USBL products.
You're getting into big-time names here now. This is taking me back to my childhood.
How about Anthony Mason? There's one, too. We were talking about that 05 Illinois men's basketball team that made the Final Four, the last one prior to this year, and we got the Darren Williams and all this nostalgia as us old guys seem to do.
Right, and we get into the rabbit hole of trying to remember all these things. That was a heck of a finish from Amos there. Probably why he's at 16 points a game.
Yeah, Amos, good start. He hasn't actually hit a bunch from the field yet, but he's been playing well. Nice attack, Hughley, trying to get that.
A lot of credit to the Vancouver defender there. Walling up straight, didn't leave his feet for the shot block, and made that a tough shot.
Golder outside Kayinda. He's played well defensively. This time drives over Potts. Step back won't go. Run it. Doman, 30 seconds left.
TJ's been active on the glass since the timeout. 2 straight D boards.
V8 outside. They play catch. Him and Ty, like you said, a couple of veteran Capitals players. V8 floater. Good contact. Didn't get a call.
You know, both V8 and Ty so comfortable with their mid-range game. It's difficult when the other team is playing softer with that length. They got to shoot over more size.
5 seconds left. Screen, Amos, low to the ground, gets to the rim, flip it up. And it does not go, but Vancouver, what a finish to the opening quarter of basketball. They go on a 17-5 run over the final 7 minutes and have a firm lead at the end of the first.
You know, really effective crashing the glass, really effective finishing at the rim on their opportunities. And for the Capitals, it's a situation that, hey, going into the second quarter, got to find more energy, got to find more open easies. We're taking a lot of tough shots right now.
Things started out, Belize with the bucket out on the right-hand side, pumped early. And then the pitch back, Zay got a peek.
That's another one. Isaiah with 2 shot attempts that quarter. You're going to want to try to find him 4 or 5 looks this second quarter if you're Salem.
Front court was working early. Some of the bounces were working for Vancouver,
and
too.
And late shot clock for them. Marcus Golder in the corner had a great look. Late shot clock.
March birthday boy Boozer, former Capitals player, current Cap, Cam, pointing at a guy as he drives to the rim, and then Belize with another.
You know, I think that was probably the Capitals' most effective offense, was Belize navigating ball screen and making sound decisions. When is it time to go? When is it time to kick?
Rim protection, rim finishing with Golder. But Potts got one. Good to see him for the first time.
I thought he brought some energy, and he brought a little bit more resistance at the rim for the Caps against all the size the Bears put out there.
We'll see how Salem can rebound in the second quarter. Again, the front court, we saw a lot of those blocks, not a lot of those offensive rebounds. Highlighted in this package is always that understated part of the game.
And then in that scramble when, oh my goodness, they got an old board, 3 of us collapsed. The Bears actually shared it really well off those old boards as well.
Thanks for being with us. Second quarter's next on USBL TV. Big exciting season of Salem Capitals basketball. Head coach Nick Cortese is with us. Want a chance to introduce you to the Capitals fan base. I mean, you're early in this coaching tenure. We're going to be talking to you all season long. Curious, what's your basketball coaching story? What made that something that you wanted to do in your life?
Well, basketball has been a huge part of my life daily since I was a little kid. Kind of a long story, but basically I worked really hard from when I was 6 years old. Went to high school and actually got cut from the high school basketball team, but I worked my way up. Went to Oregon State. I basically was a scout practice player. I was trying to play for the school. Almost got there, but not quite. But ended up playing in some pro level leagues up in New York after living there for a couple years. And then I moved back. I've been coaching since I was 14 years old and just love to stay by the game, and that's what I do.
I mean, that coaching bug, right, that you talk about wanting to be part of the game. The Salem Capitals is a huge story that lots of people discover and go, why didn't I know about this before, right? This arena, this team. How excited are you to be part of this ecosystem now?
I mean, it means everything to me. My goal is to come here and help win a championship and elevate Salem, put us on the map. Also represent not just Salem, but the whole state of Oregon. You know, we've got a lot of fans around that know about the Capitals. It's just great to be here. We've got an awesome culture, and you know, love the guys. They're great. So.
When you look at that first win in your coaching tenure, describe the comeback that was your trip to Yakima and getting that first victory.
Well, for me, it's so typical and kind of just describes my life right there. It's always been a battle just coming back, but I knew after our halftime locker talk and just coming out and doing exactly what we needed to and executing that we had them after we scored like 8 straight points. I just knew it. And that's what it's all about, is just having faith and trust in each other. And that's really what this culture is about. So we're just building off that. But yeah, I mean, it's so typical.
So I imagine you don't want them to all be those big of comebacks, even though that is your story. So when things are going right for a Nick Cortese coach team, what's it look like on the floor?
The same as when things are going wrong. We have to be always energetic. We have to be always looking forward, forgetting about the bad and just moving forward.
Awesome. Pleasure to introduce you to the Salem Capitals fans, everyone on USBL's TV outlets. We're so excited that you're here with Coach Nick for the 2026 season of Capitals basketball. Need a haircut?
That's a great part of this. Great part of this. Where else can you go watch a professional game and get a clean fade on each side?
And this year, they're doing it courtside.
That's even better. You know, you can't be bored now.
It'd be a shame Madison Barbershop folks put him facing the opposite way. It's like, hey, we need you to be up. No, you're courtside. You're getting a haircut.
Love
it's being efficient and watching.
I mean, it's you 2 birds, 1 stone. Love it.
Vancouver, though, with an 8-point lead to open up the second and immediately attacks again. Capitals, not foul trouble, but they're getting a lot of calls against them early.
And some of that can be early season. When coaches always talk about communication, but communication paired with action is what you really want. So the Caps are saying things, teammates aren't reacting to what I'm saying. I need you to do the thing, the cue I gave you.
Tommy Thomas checks into the game. He's down on the left block in the white jersey for Vancouver across from Boozer as Golder hits the first free throw. And then you have Mikey Medlock Jr., former Lewis and Clark men's basketball player on the floor, and then Diego Sanchez out there as well.
You know, the second unit for the Caps has struggled to find, they played hard, they played with energy, struggled to find synergy together, which is obviously part of what you're trying to get as the bench mob, so to speak.
Largest lead of the game for Vancouver. Salem attacks the right side, and they get a call, and they get a bounce as well.
Tough finish through traffic, split the help, finished oversized.
Former Western Oregon Wolf Wolves player. It's always hard when you have that F versus that V. But man, I love getting to know Ty last year. Loves food, loves mom's cooking. He likes being in the kitchen. 16.3 per game so far, right there with Caleb Hughley at the second leading scorer behind Zay this season.
And knows his job, right? My job is to be a spark plug. My job is to create offense for us when I step in the game, and he's done that today.
V8 with Doman, Hughley, and Potts, the lineup in the black for Salem. They're going to have replica jerseys available at salemcapitalsbasketball.com. That pass got through traffic. Hughley popped it away. He leads the break. Doman tracks it down. Back outside. Caleb, head fake. Finds some space. Gets to the rim. A little off for Salem so far.
The spacing, even on that transition, everyone was sprinting. Everyone was running hard. Spacing caused the one defender to be able to guard three of us. Something that the season, as it goes along, more practice time, more time together as a unit, that'll even itself out.
Doman whistled for the foul, and now you get Benzel back out there to replace Potts. The Salem team off a 22-point comeback for a win at Yakima. How many 20-point comebacks did you have, Coach?
Well, not enough, sir. Not enough.
There's two ways to look at that. You didn't win those games, but you also got down by 20. Those are probably both not desirable outcomes.
Right.
Nick Cortese, the head coach for Salem, said kind of been the story of his life so far. Always finding ways to come back. Boozer, though, he's played really good basketball.
He's looked great. Whether it's the armory, the familiarity with the court, the baskets, he's looked great today.
4 for 6, an 11-point Vancouver lead. Smartly, Bears collapsing on Price, not going to let him shoot anywhere on that floor.
Big Cam's got a size mismatch if they can find him, and they got time on the clock. There it is.
Made himself available, missed the layup, but he's fouled.
That's one of those where you ask Big Cam if he's trying to pad his own stats there with that. You're trying to get an old board big fella on top of that, but that was a great seal, great recognition from V8 that Cam had the switch, and we needed to get him the ball down there.
Heard me say 10 points per game is a little underrated for Cam. It's like, okay, fine, I'll get a couple extra, tap it off the front of this rim.
Right here, great seal. Had it for a couple seconds, didn't panic, kept his position. A lot of times bigs, when they don't get it right away, they lose position, kind of chasing the ball out of the key. Cam sat, squatted, and kept his hand there, knowing V8 would get him the ball.
Los is back in for Salem. Kind of feel bad for Sanchez on the Vancouver side. He smartly didn't foul him on the way up, but then trying to get the rebound, he ended up sending him to the line.
He was in a struggle for his life from the elbow all the way down to the restricted arc once that switch happened.
Those replica jerseys, if you place your order by April 4th, you can get them by April 24th. Available youth, medium to adult, 4XL, and that includes the state edition, which is this cool green color as Salem, Oregon across the chest. Go to salemcapitalsbasketball.com. 33-24, a couple minutes gone in the second. Vancouver has the lead and the ball.
Salem back to their starting unit, so we'll see what they got done while sitting on this bench, watching the game, getting a feel for it.
Mikey Medlock Jr., the step through with his strong hands. He's excited to keep his playing career going. He's been finishing his studies after graduating from Lewis and Clark following their tournament championship.
I was about to say, they don't get that trophy without Mikey's performance, huh?
Oh, not a chance. Zay, like you said, with the starting unit, has 7 left. Medlock Jr.'s on Zay to start. Got a little USBL rookie there, and Zay has it look. Again, just a little off on all the cap shots.
The Caps feel the half step off just in their timing, whether it's their screens or pick and roll. Still trying to figure out the vibe and the way their offense is rolling.
And not the case for Marcus Golder. He's in the double figures. He's had a solid game so far, pacing the way as Vancouver has grown the lead to 13, 37-24. 9 minutes left. Get a couple back for RJ.
Another great use of the screen off the ball screen. RJ, you mentioned pace. RJ's playing with great pace right now. The rest of the Caps seem a little hesitant, unsure of where they're supposed to be.
This is Thomas. Ball screen, as you mentioned. He has an open look dead center and drains it. Vancouver, first make from deep in the game.
And if that's going to be, if they keep going under, Salem went under, Brett Hollins went way under, which might be in the scout. If you're going to make that shot, we're going to have to change coverages.
Los tries to get one back for Salem. No good. Benzel working in the post. Caps 1 of 5 from deep.
Good pass.
6 to shoot. Diving for it. He was already out of bounds. Capitals will have 2.5 left on the shot clock.
There's there's just a hesitancy with everything Salem's doing except for RJ release. That's not being scared. That's being like, what is it we're trying to accomplish? We're still getting used to the way we want to attack.
Coach Cortese's first home game as the head coach. He was on the bench for the Capitals when they were playing a couple weeks ago in their first home games of the season. But excited to be part of this. He's in the Portland Trailblazers youth development from a coaching standpoint. Lob pass to Benzel, and that sparks a foul on that weak side.
From the beginning, that's a nice set from the Caps off that sideline out of bounds. Sometimes that's all you need. One play, one set, one plan pans out. A little bit more confidence, a little more pep in our step. We start being more sure of our drive and our shot choice.
Cam's going to go to the line. That foul's charged against Golder. I think it's his first.
Second time Salem's been able to catch Vancouver on a switch where they didn't have the size necessary to guard Cam down low.
Originally from Southeast Portland, Cortese went to Oregon State, and they
got a technical here?
Yeah. Didn't notice that right off the rip, but yeah, vacant lane, so Cam gets a couple of free throws, or a free throw in the ball.
I suppose we should expect that in professional basketball these days. There's always a comment after a call.
Give a lot of credit to the USBL officials. See them in a lot of different spots in the Pacific Northwest. Flip it back behind the back.
Good look. Great pass. Another good pass.
Nice touch. Collins.
You know, that's something we've said about Zay for a long time. Not just the scorer, but the connector between guys. Got Cam a great look. Got Brett a layup. Might be something that starts a run for the Capitals.
Saw Mikey before the game. I said, hey, your shoes are Caps blue. You might not want to wear those on this floor. He brought the ball up, but that pass stolen away. Cayenda was the one squeezing it through. Zay doing work both ends. And Los almost
kept his
by
pivot
himself.
foot. There it is.
Tip in.
Big Cam, 2 consecutive trips, offensive rebounds. Really nice footwork from Los there, because it looked like he traveled 4 times, but he kept his pivot foot down the whole time.
Everyone expecting to shoot. Cam gets that shot to roll in. Another steal. All of a
Getting
sudden.
pretty physical. Getting pretty physical. A lot of bodies colliding.
Hollins to Zay for 3.
Big run. Big run. Smart timeout from Vancouver. Salem's got something going right now.
The Armory lit up. An 8-0 run for the Capitals. Midway point of the second quarter coming up. It's Zay Gentry and the Capitals closing it down to 5 on USBL TV. (39-34). Salem has worked back from a 13-point deficit, trails by 5.
You know, a big key there, 3 forced turnovers by the Caps. We talked about Vancouver. The Bears don't turn it over often. Salem was able to turn them over 3 straight times, led to this great run they're on.
Headlock Jr. outside. And you have Thomas out there with Golder. And Sanchez, good defense. Cayenda had a chance at a putback. Not as many second chance points for Vancouver in this quarter. In fact, Salem has 7 in the second quarter after trailing 11-1.
That was a great possession. Ball movement, good open look. Despite the miss, really good trip from the Caps.
I can't complain on the shot. Golder behind the back. You like that one.
I was surprised by that one. How about that?
Better said. The trailer. Triangle passing, toss it over, and Zay cashes.
He might be on one now. He might be feeling it now.
A run for the Caps, 11-0 over the course of the last 2.5 minutes. To your point, Gentry entered the quarter with 3. He's now up to 9. Halfway point of the second.
Maybe the first trip for Vancouver didn't have a ball screen in it. We'll see what that does for him.
And against Enzel in the post. Cam didn't play a ton in that first quarter. He's fresh, and it forces a turnover. Nice play by Los.
Double team late there kind of helped, but Cam held his ground. Those were big shoulders colliding down low.
Could you imagine having a guy like that back in your college coaching days?
That would have made a difference.
Got some size. Zay, Salem chance at the lead. Here it is. Back rim.
One of those heat checks. You make 2 in a row, you typically get to take one of those.
Los goes back at it. More second chance points. It's a tie game.
Big play. We talked earlier they're going to have to finish oversized, and that was a nice example there for Los. Right here, a little Euro step through, took the undercut and finished over.
Over 6'10", Joel Kayenda. Crowd all in attendance here. We were talking about the fortunate bounce, if you will, of the bottom of these seats being Caps colors. It kind of adds to this arena vibe.
You need that home floor advantage, a true home floor advantage, like you mentioned. Even the clock is blue now with the time in the game. It's all Caps, although they're wearing pink today.
Yeah. You got the dark uniforms. They're going dark light state edition this year. But as you mentioned in the first quarter, probably the best dressed team in the entire league, year in, year out. Thomas leaning in, and he's able to bang that through, gets a foul, so another end one opportunity, this time on the Vancouver end. But this environment is such a nice place to be around, and you have the cherry blossoms blooming. You got to wear the pink this time.
Oh, it's the cherry blossoms. That's funny you mentioned that. My wife and my daughter were talking about that trip. Has to be on the itinerary coming up.
The Thunder Sticks this year, they're giving away to the first group of fans that cross through the churn styles, if you will, at the auditorium.
And the setup of the Armory lends itself to loud. The seats are on top of you. It kind of circles into this bowl towards us. It's a nice place to be. Have your home floor.
Zay looking to go to double figures. Instead, tried to squeeze a pass through. It's kicked away. 8 left.
Saw what he was talking about. One of those examples, just not being on the same page. Los was cutting to clear, not cutting to score. Zay thought he was cutting to score.
Big year for Zay. You mentioned he's coaching at McNary now. Got a house, has a baby.
All grown up.
Cam back rim. Can't get that one to drop. Enzel so far 3 of 6. Salem has hit 5 of 11 going to that first time out of this quarter. Vancouver made its first 4 shots. They're shooting 52% for the game.
A little more pressure on the ball from the Caps has really disrupted some of the timing of the pick and roll and led to some of these opportunities.
Caleb Hughley at the time comes away with it. Only change at that timeout is Caleb back in the game. Heater Los, and he gets it tied.
Tough up. Thought he had RJ on the kick in the corner, but if you're going to take that shot, you better make it, and Los did.
Amos.
Good kick.
And he's called for the travel?
Oh, really?
So he landed before he got rid of that basketball.
Fortunate break there for the Caps, because that was a great kick, and the Bears knocked that 3 down.
Amos stands just 5'9" and uses that low to the ground to his advantage.
Especially in the trees. You can literally lose him sometimes, almost like a running back that gets lost in the O-line.
Capitals' chance to get back on top. We've exchanged leads 4 times so far. RJ back outside. Los takes off. Valiz in the corner. Hit it!
He found him. We mentioned last trip he missed RJ on that kick. He found him, made up for it. RJ made the shot for him, and it sampled the confidence for each other.
He's playing defense. Meets Amos. Sends it back outside.
Carlos got caught on the switch.
Jumper's good.
Tough.
Nice feed down to that baseline by Medlock, too.
And it was the pass to the right side of the baseline. That front was coming over the top. Good read from Mikey.
Hughley gets to the rim, scores it.
Another tough finish off the glass.
Hughley puts the Capitals up by 3, 47-44. Another timeout with 3:26 remaining in the second quarter. It's a rivalry game. It's a Caps home game. And it's everything you want, including the Salem Capitals dancers out there with the MC Austin. What a take.
This is a really hard shot because you have to get it up and over the sides, but also soft off the backboard. A lot of times you'll see younger players throw that off the backboard, a hard ricochet. Really high level skill from Hughley there.
Let's keep it here and talk about this landscape, this environment, because you're getting a chance to say United States Basketball live and in person, United States Basketball League with those Thundersticks. Seattle 6-0 on the year. This is a team that has a lot of talent. You also have a lot of that Supersonics influence working right now. Gary Payton even named an ambassador to the USBL, and he was up there as the team for Salem. You know, they're going to see the Seattle Superhawks team again. They end up losing 113-90. Right now, the Superhawks, they're an offensive-minded team and score.
Well, anytime you can have somebody like Jonte Porter, who a lot of folks know from the NBA, a draft pick, his brother's always been a very successful NBA champion, and Michael Porter Jr., that level of ability in this league lends a lot of credibility to the league. Not just a Gary Payton around, but also having a player of that caliber in the league.
Saw Sean Kemp up there, too. It's a lot of buzz right now with basketball up in Seattle because it feels like this is the first time that maybe it's in fact going to happen, Coach, that the Supersonics return.
I'm knocking on wood for all my Seattle Supersonics fans that are friends of mine that have been waiting, 20 years since they were robbed of their team. Be really excited. I think it'd be good for the Blazers, too, to have that natural rivalry back, the green and gold on the court again.
A natural rivalry, and there's something to be said. I would love to know from the front office, the coaching perspective, just how nice it is to have a shorter trip occasionally,
Yes.
too.
Because in the NBA, they believe they play each other 4 or 5 times in division. That's something I know the Northwest misses, having the Sonics.
Karen Conrad going back out to sell some merchandise, part of that ownership group here with Jason. And it's that family group, Bill, their dad, just does everything to make this happen game in and game out. And you saw the shots of the crowd. There's smiles on their faces.
I think they should get a walk tracker, your steps tracker on the Conrad family, because they are up here with us. They're down behind the benches. They're in the stands. They're out with the concession stand. They're everywhere.
You're still looking to find a chance to sponsor this team. Maybe that's the thing. Every step is a penny into the coffers of somebody else, maybe a good foundation. Missed by Thomas on the baseline. Feed it outside. Start and stop Los. Capitals trying to extend a 3-point lead. Salem's led by as many as 4, and that almost got it above that mark. RJ comes out with a rebound out to Los. 3, side rim.
Both great shots, and both the result of unselfish play.
Transition, though, thwarted by Salem, and Hughley flexes. He'll go to the line.
You know, as I mentioned, sometimes the end result is not what you want to see, is not what you want as a coach, but you know the process was sound. Zay gave up an open 3 to get his teammate an open 3. Los got an open 3 from RJ. Generating open looks for each other is going to pay off in the long run for this team.
47-44, just under 3 minutes left until halftime. Salem jumped out to a 14-10 lead, and Vancouver just went nuts, fueled by second chance points. A wide rebounding margin went up 29-17. It eventually made that 37-24 up and under for Hughley. There's a foul. Kayenda whistled for another one.
He was surprised, to say the least. But I think he did get him on the wrist. There's just a little late call from the official.
That free throw makes it 48-44. Just the first foul on Kayenda. No one in real foul trouble on the Vancouver side. You have Sanchez whistled for a couple. Salem, 3 different players with 2, so everything going pretty okay. The foul department, nice little bounce pass. Kayenda's floater doesn't go. Outside to Boozer, had a hot start to this game. 8 points. Kick far side, sidestep Golder. Lets Benzel fly by.
More O boards this trip. The O boards have reared their head in a good way for Vancouver and a bad way for the Caps.
11th one of the game. Golder can't cash in. He has 14 already. Vancouver's been limited scoring, especially in the mid part of the second quarter, but there's a pickoff.
Tough look. Hard to throw across so many bodies.
It's just the 4th Capitals turnover That number seems low. They might have missed a couple earlier. I mean, because we felt like we saw 4.
Yes, right. 4 of the first 5. 4 of
Yeah.
the first 5 for sure.
It's the 5th foul whistle against Vancouver in the period.
You know, that's probably the earliest pickup in transition Salem's had, which is a good thing. Even though there was a foul, you appreciate the ball being stopped.
Beg your pardon, 4th one on the Capitals. 5 for Vancouver, but that foul charged to Salem. Across the top, Boulder, he got around RJ.
Heck of a move there. Big rebound from Cam. In between 3 white shirts, Cam was able to get that D board.
Capitals have to feel good about that miss because they don't usually get those from Marcus. And instead, Vlies transition bucket, he'll shoot.
You know, that's the pace that RJ's brought, and he's had such a good feel between all-out go attack versus a little hesitant 2-foot balance. Let me read a little bit. He's really been a great connector for the Caps today.
Look at that leap, too. Got up there. They talked about his performance against Yakima when he was the player of the game against the Heat earlier this year. Talks a lot about the work ethic, and it's had a direct translation to his ability to play on the floor, holds himself, his teammates accountable, and not only talks the talk, walks the walk. So well-deserved for RJ Vlies to be player of the game last time the Capitals had some home games.
And all those traits you just described, kind of prerequisites for lead guards, right? If you're going to have the ball a lot, you're going to have to be able to bring people with you and get them in the right places at the right time.
Enthusiasm as he gives the Capitals their largest lead of the game. It's a 5-point margin for Salem. This game was 39-26 Vancouver at the 9-minute mark of this quarter. Now Salem leads by 5 with 90 seconds left.
Vancouver's not been crisp in their spacing with their ball screen.
This meeting between these two this year. Attack it.
Oh, Lord.
Missed it. Kayanda's there.
You wonder how many times Booz and Cam played one-on-one from that spot in that exact same situation in the past when they were teammates.
Former Capitals player, like you said, banged up last year. Good to see him healthy. This year, Zay strides to the rim.
That was great timing on that little quick action with Zay getting that roadrunner sprint to the rim. Just couldn't finish the...
Wicket out to Amos. Game is tied.
You know, that's not something that, as good as Amos has been, he hasn't shot it great from 3, so that's a good sign for Vancouver if he's going to make that.
Close with an answer, 3 won't. And Boozer has it for the final 43 seconds of the first half.
You wonder sometimes, especially in professional basketball, is this a 2-for-1 situation? What's the philosophy of the Bears in these under-a-minute scenarios?
15 seconds left. Amos calls out for Boozer. And an illegal screen called with 24 seconds left.
And if you're coaching the Bears, you're telling Booz, you got to have Amos wait a little bit longer. That's not on you, big fella. We appreciate you trying to get a body. The guard's got to slow down and set that up better for you.
Boozer's second foul. Final possession is the Caps. He's just getting bumped and bumped and bumped, and that's the 6th foul already on Vancouver.
And RJ had him in jail from the very first time he caught the ball. He got him on his hip, kept him there, and knew when the burst. Oh, what'd we get?
I was going to say, I had the same reaction as you, Coach.
What happened? What'd we call it?
Maybe a push-off? That's the play prior.
They might have called him for a hook with his arm. Ah, that's tough.
So now
that's
Vancouver,
tough.
Chance to take the lead after Salem took it back with about 4 minutes left.
Good kick. Great job from Cam making that a hesitancy on the 3.
Say 1 second left, can't get it away. Almost
got backboard.
Not bad, not bad. Maybe get Odd Mo's Pizza free for a year. They were shooting a little putt-putt to try to get that for one lucky winner. Didn't convert in this, my first home game, the 3rd of the year for the Salem Capitals. And we're so glad that you could be with us from the Jackson's Body Shop broadcast booth. Inviting you to come back for our second half. 49-49, a rivalry game knotted up at halftime. Makes for a good one. Second half is coming up next on USBL TV. This is crazy to be back in this gym for me. This is my 2nd year with the Capitals, but you know, at this point, it kind of feels like maybe it's old rhythm for you. How's it feel to be back in the grind?
It feels great, man. Like, I love playing basketball. It's therapy for me. So just being back in the Armory with a good group of guys, it's real fun, and I'm happy to be here.
Give us an update. What's the off season been like? You kind of what's happened since the last time we saw you on the court for you personally? Any milestones? Kind of catch us up.
So realistically, when I'm not in season, I actually run a nonprofit in Eugene. Well, I help run it called Incline Sports down in Eugene. So I'm mostly spending my time coaching kids, giving back to the community, and working out somewhat. But as season approaches, I'm usually in the gym majority of the day. So it's not hard to really get a workout in while I'm working. So,
what kind of called you to that work? Like, what drew you to that kind of professional life?
Honestly, the kids. Like, I love being around kids because, like, their energy is good to feed off of. Like, they come in happy. How can you look at a little kid and be sad? It's like they help me a lot become the man who I am. So it's pretty fun.
And that makes me wonder to ask, when you see this gym full of guys or, kiddos who are, 10, 8, right? And they're just eating this up because it's professional basketball in their town. When you get done with games and you're high-fiving and you're signing autographs and all that, how does this environment, how do the Salem Capitals kind of replicate what you just described?
Oh, it's almost like the same thing. Like, it's almost like I could sit here and, it's very easy for me to communicate with kids, open up with kids, where most kids are shy. So it's very easy for me to get them to hop out of their box and be themselves. And so it's kind of the same, realistically.
This is kind of cool to watch you guys practice and get set up for the season. I'm curious, what's some of the biggest things that we should be excited about with this Salem Capitals team?
You should be excited about the whole group as a unit. We're pretty powerful. We're together. That's one of the things. We're together. Like, if you look at a fist, most teams are, two guys, right? We're a whole fist. Once you clinch it together, we're pretty powerful.
And of course, the new thing with this season is you're playing the USBL. When you think back to the legacy and what you knew, what you're learning about the USBL, what are some things you're most excited about with this new league?
I'm always just excited for something new. It brings new opportunities, new people, new fans, new players, new everything. So I'm pretty excited. So far, I've enjoyed what's going on with the USBL, so I can't really complain about it.
All right, just out of curiosity, when you see a team rival, let's throw out Vancouver, right? When Vancouver comes in this building, if someone's not been to a Salem Capitals game before, how do you prepare them for what they'll experience?
See, me, I'm not really much of a preparer. I'm more of like a surprise guy. So I'd rather them get the surprise of, oh my God, this is a great atmosphere. Because usually when I invite people to the games, I usually don't tell them anything. I just say, hey, come to the games. And then after, they're like, oh my God, that was the greatest thing I didn't expect that much. And I'm like, yeah, that's usually what goes down at the Armory.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you're alone, because everyone I've brought to a game after I experience exactly what you're talking about, it's the same thing, because you get in this building, you get in this atmosphere. It is really unique in this league.
Yes, it is. I try not to look up in the stands, because that's when I start realizing how many people are actually in here.
It's really exciting. It's great to see you, V8. Appreciate you. Looking forward to this year.
Oh, thank you. Always good to see you, too.
Zay, you're back with the Capitals. You got this team ready to go for another year. How is it? How exciting is it? How pumped up are you to be part of the Capitals again?
I'm really excited, especially with this being another year where we have new faces and new capabilities. I feel like this is the most athletic and put together team that we've had, with our chemistry that we've gotten already, and just being teammates on and off the court.
Specifically for yourself, what keeps bringing you back to keep playing hoops, being competitive, and we'll get to the USBL part of it in just a moment, but like, why is this something that still calls to you?
It's Jason stands around that community culture. So being able to be in an environment to where I feel like I'm able to give back, not just like playing is fun, right? But at the end of the day, the ball starts bouncing. It's giving hope for the younger kids that don't really get to afford going to professional Blazer games and stuff like that, having that family environment where they get to come on the court, interact, and seeing you in public and stuff like that. Like, that's more giving than anything else that the game can bring.
I'm curious if you have a personal story to share about that, or just something that stood out maybe with your interactions on this side of it. But like, when you were a young guy, right? Like, the kids who come to these games, they think you are the Portland Trailblazers, right? Like, we're talking people, 7-2. We got Joe out here, so you know what I mean. Like, point being is like this is a big deal, no matter where you're at, to get a chance to watch professional basketball. I'm just curious, did you ever get impacted in that same way, or just kind of a story that stood out over your years here?
No, just, I mean, to be honest, like you said, these kids want the autographs. They want the signed shoes. Like, next home game, I'm bringing a signed pair of shoes just because a kid wants them. But that's just a commitment I made to him. I forgot him last game, felt bad. But growing up, I grew up a single mother raising 2 boys, well, 3 boys. Like, so I didn't get the opportunity to go watch professional games and stuff like that. So being able to create an environment where they can come and interact, and again, when they can see you in public and actually know that you're a normal person, you actually care about them, giving them hope that, hey, I was in your stance. Maybe that kid doesn't have a lot of money, giving him something that he can look forward to. Like, oh, I know I don't have that. Growing up, I was a sponsor kid. My mom couldn't afford it. I had coaches and programs sponsor me all the way up until college. So I'm very thankful for that, and if that's an opportunity I get to possess, I'm happy for it.
I want to point out the fact, you like, look at the atmosphere, and I know we're shooting back toward the stage, but there's seats in here. This is such a unique building in this league, right? And getting an opportunity to play in this kind of environment. What does Salem bring, the Armory bring to the atmosphere for the Capitals?
It brings a professional environment. I mean, you look at some of the other teams and what they do. Yeah, we may not be the club that has the most money, but we're the club that has the best experience, right? We are the only club that actually plays in an arena in the USBL. So you go to Seattle, they do a great job. Shout out to Pierre, but they have the college that has great seatings, but being able to pack this with thousands of fans is something that is just, it gives you chills. And I'm extremely grateful each time when you have 15 to 2,000 people every night coming to watch and support you, right? Halftime entertainment, like, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah. The franchise, the USBL, works so hard to create that experience, but it's one thing. The building you can't replicate, right?
Yeah.
Because it is what it is. Hey, grab one of them basketballs really quick. Look at this thing. We got the USBL back with the old red, white, and blue basketball. The legacy of the USBL and getting a chance to play in it now. What's that mean to you and your teammates?
It's the start of a new chapter. It's a start of experience, especially with a lot of being a person of color. Like, that's where a lot of people got their first stint before they went to the NBA, right? So like Muggsy and stuff like them, Bobo, Manu, or whoever it is. But like being able to play in the same atmosphere, same league as where they were, and resurrecting it to a new beginning for, again, it's not for us, right? We're thinking about where can this be in 15 and 10 years, to creating another experience to the kids that are in high school and middle school now, to an opportunity that they can have coming up.
You be a part of that, right? That starting point of that revive. Just really quick, catch us up from last year. Kind of what was your off season like, and some things that we should know about, Zay.
Yeah, off season, man, this was the most difficult off season, like staying ready. I took over a high school program. I'm the head girls varsity coach for basketball at McNary High School. I'm in my second year of teaching at McNary. I got married last year, and then a baby, and unfortunately mom passed. Like, it was a very impactful off season, and it was quite frankly hard to like stay motivated for basketball. Like, I had so many new experiences going on, and truthfully I didn't know if I was going to come back until Jason convinced me, right? He gave me an opportunity, and I want to be grateful and continue to pour into that.
I give you a ton of credit because, I threw that question at you and you're unpacking a whole bunch of stuff. If it's okay with you, sometime down the road, I'd love to talk to you more. Congratulations on the baby. Congratulations on the marriage. Sorry to hear about your mom, of course. And we're just excited to see you back with the Ox on your shirt. Zay, looking forward to the season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Back in Salem at the Salem Armory Auditorium, a tie game between the Vancouver Bears and the Salem Capitals. Getting set for the start of the second half. Absolutely enjoyable first half of basketball. Salem saw Vancouver go on a big run, and then you had the Capitals find its own, really churn the tide kind of the midway point of the second quarter. Now this game goes in the second half tied.
But I think you get a lot of that credit to Cam and RJ Valise. I think Cam establishing some resistance on the glass for the Capitals versus what the Bears were able to do. And Salem was able to turn over Vancouver. 10 turnovers for Vancouver, 7 steals, got in transition, got guys open looks, and that really opened the floodgates.
That's the voice of Kip Ione, the former Willamette Hooper and now the head coach of South Salem boys basketball, along with our entire Bobby P Media group. I'm Ryan Goff, as Vancouver in the white and Salem wearing the darks, in this instance with a dark, light, and state edition set this year. And we start the second half. Vancouver, we talked about the ability for the Bears to score second in the league in scoring by and large, but the Capitals giving up almost entirely the worst point total in the league, had to get key stops, and right off the rip, Vancouver comes up empty. Here comes Salem pushing ahead. Hollins, beg your pardon, one of the new faces, down to Joey Potts getting a start.
Oh, the big fella. The second unit plus Brett Hollins starting the second half for the Capitals. Interesting. You don't see that a lot. Second half starting with the bench mob, so to speak, but a good, energetic start. And that dunk was physical from the big fella.
And I brought up the key stops as you see the hammer drop there. Because like you talked about in the open, it's hard to stop Vancouver every trip down the floor. Got to find big ones when they count.
And it's really disheartening if you get that stop and then you don't get the defensive board. So it's nice to see the Caps with that stop, steal, transition. Because Salem's got a lot of creators, a lot of shooters, a lot of different ways to hurt you in trans. But you can't do that if you're bringing the ball in off makes all the time.
Salem was out-rebounded 20-9 to start this game, and the Capitals used an early third quarter timeout. Salem was better in the second quarter, +3 in rebounds, and went 13-2 in points off second chance opportunities. You have Nick Cortese using this quick timeout to bring his team over. A 30-second time, or 40 seconds gone in the third, you take a timeout. What do you reset?
Maybe you're feeling something, that you have a special draw, that you saw something from Vancouver that you wanted to take advantage of in that moment. So we'll see. It is very early, especially when things were going well. I don't think he's in there yelling. He might have saw something he likes.
See the Vancouver group over there, Curtis Hill, Sarah Hill with the ownership of this team, and then you have Gene Shipley and Kelvin Hampton combining with Curtis Hill as kind of that associate head coach group. As on the floor, we got the Portland Rosebuds, which is the dance team for the Portland Winterhawks junior hockey team in Portland, to entertain us at halftime. And now it's the Salem Capitals dancers, as we are early in the third quarter with a 51-49 score, Salem in the lead.
There's never a dull moment at the Armory.
Oh, yeah. They do a great game day atmosphere. You've sat in that chair. TJ Muhammad sat in that chair. Tim McCrory as well. And the thing that you all universally say is this basketball atmosphere is everything you want in a professional hoops atmosphere.
You want people to leave your game not only appreciating what they saw from your team, but also feeling like that's a place I can bring the fam. That's the place I want to meet friends at. And I think Jason and the family do a great job of making that a reality.
Get your tickets for Salem Capitals basketball. Seats start at $6 for affordable family fun. You can get courtside seats and VIP pub tables for $50 or less per seat. What a value. This hashtag community culture is definitely there. A couple of Friday games coming up, April 3rd against Spokane's Lilac City Legends, and then the Bakersfield Majestic are in here on the 17th.
The league is not lacking for unique nicknames.
See Coach Shipley there as his team breaks that huddle. Salem took the timeout. You talked about TJ Doman on the floor to start. Devontae Cleveland, Tyreek Price out there. Throw out to the top. Hollins' three is off the mark.
Good look.
Left to right, Vancouver on the road this season, 3-1, and Marcus Golder's been outstanding again, 14 points.
Great backside help from V8 there.
Right in front of Valentine Boozer. Passing down the floor. It was a 4-on-3. Bucket goes. Or bucket miss, beg your pardon, and you get the rebound by Joel Kayinda.
I'm sorry, I was absolutely distracted by UConn just making a huge shot at half court in March Madness.
Hey, this is the time.
Multitasking.
Oops is on our mind everywhere. With 0.3 seconds left, UConn hits a big three. That's the big bucket, or a big defensive stop, by the way, for Kayinda.
Well, it's been a physical game, not in a dirty way, just been a lot of physical bodies crashing and wrestling.
Right there, in fact, as Holland's working on Amos. We have Naz Amos at 8 points in the first half. Golder, as I mentioned.
Great help. Great help there from TJ on that drive.
Just a couple minutes into the second half. Salem with a 51-49 lead. Lob it. Golder, back rim, no good. Rebound picked up. And Doman breaking out. Running through the middle. Jump stop.
Oh, great coast-to-coast bust out dribble there.
Golder ahead and got Hollins up in the nose. Immediately Brett holding up the schnoz. It never feels good, no matter if it's solid contact or even if you kind of get just a little nick on the front of the nose.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. And I think a legal play from Golder. I think he was just trying to clear to his bounce. I didn't see anything that was dirty in that interaction.
Right side, Boozer celebrated a birthday earlier this month. Outside to Amos.
Good hands from Brett Hollins. Got him in a trap.
Those are those active hands, Coach.
Great
active hands. Long pass ahead to Doman.
2 straight trips at the rim. He hasn't been able to finish.
Outlet pass gets wide with Larry Wickett. Leading scorers for Salem, by the way, 10 points apiece for RJ Valiz and Cam Benzel. You had 4 of the 5 starters, Benzel, Valiz, Carlos Angel Jr., and Zay Gentry go for 22 combined in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think it was their second trip through the game. First quarter in the very beginning, they were a little off. Second time through, much better rhythm and connectivity.
That UConn score went final, by the way. Jumper left baseline, no good for Price.
And that's usually his spot. That's a little step back in the short corner.
You know basketball fans are enthusiastic whether they're watching one or the 2 NCAA tournaments or watching with us on USBL TV. Wickett can't finish at the rim, poked it up.
Oh boards, rearing their ugly head again.
Vancouver had 13 in the first half. Salem had a quiet 11, as it felt like it was dominant by Vancouver early. And that almost went in for Marcus.
You know, Brett Hollins had a couple good trips defensively. Active hands, as you mentioned, walling people up. That time Golder was able to split, but he's had a positive impact with just his deflections and disruptions. Was that a behind-the-back pass? That was for Amos.
Yeah.
That's how that got through.
Talked about Amos and how smartly he dribbles the basketball, given his size, keeps himself low to the ground. And that time, talked about how he kind of covertly tucked it over.
Yeah, through 4 different arms and hands.
Free throw by Golder's good. First sub of the second half brings back in Tommy Thomas. At 5 points, 9 minutes played in the first half. This home crowd, happy to see the Caps back. 1-1 for Salem on the floor. Lost to Seattle on the 13th of March and bounced back with a 6-point win over Yakima. You have Yakima, Lilac City, that Spokane squad, Bakersfield, Los Angeles, San Diego, all part of the mix now with this Vancouver-Salem group. Tuck it around, V8 lost it, then
I think he thought Brett was cutting there on a 45 cut, but it was the defender.
Or Seattle, the other team that is back from last year's the Basketball League days. Turnaround jumper, Thomas contested. Now on the end line, out of bounds. I say that those Southern California teams, part of them were also TBL.
Okay.
But just the ability to now get to play those teams and have it be part of the schedule and the mix intentionally is really cool.
See, in Los Angeles and San Diego, that gives another level of credibility to what the Caps are doing.
It's that Bakersfield trip. You'll have the Majestics in this building coming up later in April as Potts.
2
That's
straight.
Aggressive take.
He has been really good off his left hand attacking the rim. You see right here, gathers it. And, you know, with as long as he is, it really is one bounce and he's there.
course, you can sponsor players. You can find Salem Capitals on Instagram, and there's a post there talking about whether it's 50 to 1,000, you can actually sponsor a player directly. Maybe you become a Joey Potts enthusiast. You want to slap a logo or a positive message up on the banners that hang out in the foyer. You can do that, and each player gets 50% of those proceeds. Coach Nick Cortese rocking the bow tie today.
It's a heck of a look.
He's like, I'm not a suit guy, but I felt like for my home debut as the head coach. He was on the bench a couple weeks ago behind Jason Conrad. He was excited about that.
Great rebound.
That was away from the body. Still Amos
yes.
put it up. Transition, turnover.
This is going to be a finish. Oh, I thought he was going to give it back to Golder for a dunk.
Amos keeps it. He's in double figures with at least 10 at this stage. 8 minutes to play in the third. It's 53-51. Vancouver with just a 2-point edge. This lead has changed hands about 6 times.
You can, nice move. Hesitation off the step back. The Caps have had good looks this half. They just haven't been able to finish them. Couple rim layups, that pull up from Tyreek.
Vancouver's led by 13. Salem's had a 5-point lead.
Tough.
A jumper from Wicket.
You see Vancouver, too, a little bit more full court pressure, not trapping out of it, but just making it a little harder, taking some time off that 24-second shot clock. I say that, and they trapped immediately and got a steal.
It's wide of Cleveland.
This is going to be a hammer dunk.
Boozer. He put a little bit more of a gentle.
He did, didn't he? He didn't get the bounce he had in the first half, but he got they rewarded the big fella for running.
Situational awareness, only a 6-point lead. Maybe if that's a 20-point lead, he slams that down on his former home floor. Price, what a floater!
That was a great pass. Great pass there from Tyreek, navigating all those bodies. Vancouver's really turned up the pressure. They're trapping more. They're picking up full court. Important little segue here for the Caps to survive this momentum from the Bears.
Price right around 20 points in 2 of his last 3 games leading into this weekend that include that come-from-behind victory at Yakima for the Caps. They're off that win. Pass tipped away. Collins trying to feed into the front court. And here comes a line change. 5 new players for Salem.
Starters back in with Hughley.
RJ Valise, Carlos Angel Jr., and then you have Caleb Hughley in his bench role earlier this game. 3 points, just went 1 of 5. He had some looks.
He did.
Put him through.
He did. He got to the paint, got to his spots, just didn't make it at the rate he typically does.
Not going to get tired of seeing that red, white, and blue basketball. So cool with USBL revived in Oregon's capital city. Approaching the midway point of the third. 57-53, another turnover.
Vancouver's been ever. Great transition defense from Los there.
Zay.
Great feedback.
How is Vancouver having so much success causing those turnovers?
It's 2 things. It's pressure on the ball. Just somebody in my bubble speeds up my clock, but also they're in the passing lanes more than they were. First half, they were letting the Capitals reverse the ball, left, right, down, low, back up top. Now they're really challenging every single reception of a pass.
I think that's what makes this level of basketball somewhat unique because you don't get as much practice time.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the adjustments that happen in a game have to happen in game as opposed to things maybe you were prepared for.
Yeah. And I think, too, the length of the professional game, 48 minutes, as a coach, you got to really deploy pressure more selectively than, say, I do at the high school level where we're going up and down the whole game. It's a much shorter game, and you can't ask professionals with a shorter bench to play as hard for as long.
Mikey Medlock Jr. returns, 9 minutes, scored 2 points in the opening half of play. Zay Gentry at the line for the Caps. Hit them both. Make your fouls, coach. First half, he had free throws for Salem. 91% made a total of 10. No, that's not right. How about 10 of 11? And then you have Vancouver at 75%. Flip that, rather. You had Vancouver with a nice 10 of 11 start. Also, first half shooting, for what it's worth, 44% for Vancouver, 41% for Salem. And Hughley's called for an offensive foul.
Couldn't go either way there. I think on the previous possession, if you're the Capitals, you let Booz shoot 3-pointers all day. And that takes him away from the paint and negates him on the offensive glass.
I sense some displeasure from the home crowd. But they're engaged. That's the other thing. It's a great atmosphere, but the crowd returns that atmosphere by being engaged.
Yep. You want that. When you're at the home floor, you want a questionable call from the Stripes to get some noise in the building.
Hughley has 3 fouls. Benzel, or rather Angel Jr. also playing with 3. And keeping a track of the fouls.
Tough up. Pretty good wall up from Hughley there as a defender.
Golder can find all sorts of spots on the floor. Los, so fast.
Another deflection. That time for Mikey Medlock on the little wraparound.
Timeout. 5:24 remaining in the third. It's 57-55. Salem trailing by just 2. This game has been tight for over the course of the last quarter. And you talked about it.
This is just more of what's really defined the third quarter is Vancouver causing disruption to the Capitals offense.
I invite you to stick around. More third quarter USBL basketball on the horizon on USBL TV. Definitely check out Bobby P. Media, our friends who produce these broadcasts. Familiar on the Vancouver side of things, too, in Salem this afternoon. Kick out near side, and how about a Golder 3?
That's got to be maybe only their second made 3 of the game.
Yeah, you're in fact right. It's 1 for 7 to start. Golder started 0 for 3. A lot of inside work for Vancouver.
The Leafs again, navigating the paint, making good decisions on kick or score.
Leading Salem scorer at 12.
A balanced attack today. Balanced attack, different spurts from different guys. That's
elbow.
That's that second elbow shot that they made in that spot. That's not an easy one.
Nice feed. Dropped it right in the breadbasket for Cam, and he scores.
Big play. You know, it's one of those, as well as Vancouver's been playing half-court D, you like seeing the Capitals beat it early. Before they get set, before they can get into their rotations, let's just go score now.
Got good balance, good footwork for Cam.
He's a 2-foot athlete, 2-foot explosive leaper. That was nice to see him gather himself there for that finish.
At 12 points, 6 rebounds, missed the free throw. So Salem's actually sub 70% at the line right now, trailing by 3. 4.5 left in the third.
Golder. You know, that was just, it looked forced, but I've seen him over the years with that same exact move. That's just his comfort spot there.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing in stride at this point, really not afraid to pull up from anywhere at this spot.
Yep, he's in transition on the right side. He's got his catch and shoot on kicks, and he's got a great isolation back down game.
Now with a full court pressure too, maybe Vancouver trying to spread the gap, and another tip
Another
ball.
deflection. Got to be the 5th deflection this quarter.
Active hands from Vancouver keep it with the Bears on the right side.
You know, some of what you asked about earlier is also the Caps drifting away from passes rather than step into it. And that space you leave allows athletic teams to get in there and get their steals and deflections.
Salem plus 12 in points off turnovers going into this half. Right now, that margin's dwindled down to plus 6 and could be even lower on this shot by Golder. Click the rim.
Great rotation from Salem there. Isaiah and Caleb both making multiple efforts on that trip.
Leading scorer for the Capitals, the 12 from Valise. Fire over. Hughley for 3. Salem's went 4 of 14 prior to that shot from deep. There's one for Vancouver. They're second of the quarter.
Heck of a back and forth. You get an air ball here, quick 3 there. That's a 6-point turnaround.
3.5 left in the third. Salem trying to go to 4-2. Kick out, Hughley, away from the baseline. Found some space.
Nice.
Stopped on
Yeah,
a
he
dime.
took a long route to that one, didn't he? That was from the left corner all the way to his right hand in the middle.
Amos had to kick something off the court at the same time. Doing some janitorial work.
Good hands from Isaiah. And left side, that's tough. Kept the shot blocker on the right side of the rim, finished on the other side.
Kind of playing with just one foul. Gentry anticipated that. Medlock Jr. kept the
my
dribble.
goodness gracious. That was impressive. That's a D3 athlete, folks. Ah, that's special.
It really makes you realize just how quality that level of basketball is. Release fouled by Amos, draped all over him. That's going to be the first on Nas. 69-63. Right now, Capitals down by 6.
This great hands from Isaiah, as we talked about. And then this, the shot blocker's timing you up. Great use of the rim to protect your finish.
We talked about Cam Benzel's size. You expect that in a forward. I think Gentry has wonderful size for somebody who can play on the outside, too.
Absolutely. And, he can handle bumps. He can have some physicality.
Low straight to the rim. There's some speed for the Caps.
Nice straight line, one dribble, bounce to the rim.
He's close to double figures, if not there already.
Oh, good hands again from Isaiah. Good help rotation from Caleb.
3-on-2.
Great ball movement. You live with that. That's a great shot. That's your 55% three-point shooter. That's a great possession.
Yeah, Vancouver got that initial stop on the break, so Gentry's open instead. Missed by Wicket. Hughley tries to lead the break. Outnumbered. Goes straight to the rim anyway.
Yeah.
An offensive foul.
I think that's the right call. It's good aggressiveness from Caleb, but I think Marcus set it up and I think his feet were set.
Hughley's up to 4 fouls now.
Let's check his feet here. Hard to see from the replay if he was in the restricted arc, but
gave a little emphatic roll on that one. Probably displeased, has to leave the game now. Brett Hollins is back in. Should have 4, I think.
Yep.
It's the one thing I would wave the magic wand. If you want to sponsor a scoreboard, bring it in here. We can get those player fouls up on the board.
Absolutely.
Salem with 3 in the quarter. Vancouver's been whistled for 4. Lob shot.
Tough defense from RJ there. He had to navigate over 6'10" and get back to that floater.
And Cooper opened to a 29-19 lead at the end of the first. Salem outscored the Bears by 10 in the second. First try by Valise, not good. Got his own board.
Great effort. Miss your own layup. board, wherewithal to kick it out to a hot shooter.
Like a little Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, McDonald's commercial. Gonna miss my own shot, get my rebound, kick it out to Lowe's for 3.
Ooh.
Golder's playing on a different level right now. Kind of picked up steam in the second quarter and hasn't looked back.
And he's been most dangerous in the first 1.5 to 2 seconds of a possession. He's on the wing, he's got the ball, he's flying. Transition D for the Capitals. That's going to be a film session priority for Coach coming up, watching this.
Beg your pardon, 10 points in the first quarter. It's been consistent the whole game for Marcus. It continues to be the team leader for Vancouver's franchise. Like the rebound, you got the claw marks on the back of those jerseys for the Bears. And I like the color scheme. It went from red and blue to more of this gold look and like a light blue. It's almost like a
aqua turquoise. Almost? Yeah.
Aqua.
You still suck!
Vancouver, after this, will have a couple road games against Yakima, back-to-back. And Salem's up there on April 11th.
I think we've arrived at the rivalry part of today. We got fans chipping this. We got some player discussions. I'm using air quotes with those discussions going on. You like to see it in a heated game.
Benzel.
Good 2-foot patience.
Gives him options, threw it out there, picked off. Capitals turnovers are starting to mount a little bit. And that foul charge to Zay.
You know, discussions over there, Zay and the coach of the Bears. Nope, friendly. Dap it up. You know something, this half, there's been a lot of energy. Both teams are really struggling to put the ball in the hole. 27% shooting, 25% shooting.
I was going to that last timeout. You see the replay. Zay trying to get that slap around. Now, a lot of these players know, everyone on all the coaching staffs, they probably play a good amount of pickup over the course of time, one another in different locales. As Zay
Same call, yep.
got
Great.
the block on the back end was Hollins underneath who absorbed the charge.
Great help rotation there from Brett. I think Golder wants them to look, hey guys, there is a restricted arc here. Tough mechanics for officials too, as you're getting used to this. Let's see. Might have been in there. Might have been in the restricted arc. You're supposed to go to your sideline secondary for confirmation if you're making the charge on the call on the charge block. More full court pressure.
Police flying.
Not easy to do. Over booze and the finish. This is just straight to it. Kept it high off the glass. Got the roll. Little flex on him. You know, local kid.
I mean, that's what we're talking about. This RJ Valise is a guy who every single time makes a stop.
Yep.
You can see how engaged he is in this game.
I'd like to see the plus minus because I'd imagine 10s is going to be exceptionally high.
Woodburn High School. And see him on the Corbin roster. He spent some time at Western Oregon.
His dad was a longtime coach there at Woodburn. Good D again.
Golder again.
Tough up. Great battle from those two.
That's one of those good defense, but you wouldn't be surprised if Golder puts that one through.
Oh no. Well, here we are again. We could go in and tie the game.
Nice catch by the baseline. Not only mopping, but he's receiving. You're right, 71 all. We're tied at halftime. We're tied at the end of 3. Pretty entertaining a quarter.
A lot of energy from both teams. You know, I think competitiveness ramped up a little bit. I think both teams came out of halftime more determined to get stops. Buckets were hard to come by, but aggressive, competitive play was everywhere.
Mikey Medlock Jr. with the corner 3, and then you had Hughley. That stop on a dime shot in the lane. Tip out Zay Gentry. And he baited the block. You're getting contributions across that Capitals roster.
You know, we mentioned earlier, hey, how is Salem going to navigate all the size Vancouver has? Vancouver only has 2 blocks. So credit to the Caps' undersized roster. They found ways to finish. They found ways to get to the rim and finish and runs.
Fourth quarter's next. Salem Capitals 71, Vancouver Bears 71. Sunday afternoon in the capital city on USBL TV.
Sure.
Look at that. Back again? How's it going?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Got our Ox hanging out with us. Hit by own Ryan Goff back in the Jackson's Body Shop booth, and Cam Benzel puts it through.
You love the footwork, hard bounce, draw contact, got your spin. He's got enough as an athlete that even though he's fading, he still had enough strength to get that ball there.
Who needs a Cam Boozer when you got a Cam Benzel?
You were still thinking about that Duke game. You're still excited they lost.
Not disappointed, put it that way. When Duke loses, America wins. Former Kentucky fan over here. That's me, and Benzel scoring
Great
back
look.
to back.
We talked about it. Why let them get set? Why let them get, the sweat guy has got to get off the floor. But why let them get set when they're really disrupting offense? Go get it early. Great pass, great finish.
I was trying to point out Zay with an emphatic fist pump as he set that one down. Another offensive rebound, but it's popped out. Man, that's a tough break.
Yep.
You had Kayenda there.
There it is.
3 different looks and no points for Vancouver. You were talking about, as we enter the fourth quarter just underway, Salem's narrowed the gap on rebounds.
Yep, you know, it was 40 to 36 at the end of the quarter, 42-36, which is a +9 for Salem since we started. Big 3 ball from the big fella. You know, that's
timeout, Vancouver.
That's the exact type of start you want to a fourth quarter in a close game like this.
Largest lead of the game for the Caps. And they open up the fourth on a 7-0 run. All of those points by that man there, Cam Benzel. And it's a 7-point margin on USBL TV. Back to live action. Head coach Nick Cortese talking about that comeback victory.
Great hands, Zay.
Yakima, but coach, yeah, your point. Oh, what a bad steal. Bad pass by Zay. 78-71. Let's get everything laid out. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, but now Nick is going from 22-point comeback victory on the road to try to get his first home win. His team's leading by 7.
You love the response to start the fourth quarter, going 4 for 4, holding the other team scoreless in that little burst, getting out in transition together. A lot of energy on defense, a lot of hands-on balls. You hope that turnover there doesn't spark something for Vancouver. And Mikey dang near flushed that one for an N1.
Saw Marcus Golder go over, talk to his coach Gene Shipley and that entire bench. Golder up to 23 points. And has played stellar in this game, 6 of 18, but it's Cam Benzel who opens up the quarter, 3 for 3 for Salem, and he has 10 second-half points and another rebound.
And that should put him at a double-double, 20 and 10, which is what you want from your starting big guy.
Another Cam night.
Yeah.
Lock him in for 20 and 10 almost every night sometimes. A little slower start, as I mentioned, at 11 points per game this year, kind of having a breakout start the season. Hollins for 3. Wedgie. Put some air in that USBL ball. I got stuck a little too easily.
You know, that was the first time I think they've gotten Isaiah Gentry on a post-up. Might be something to look for going forward because he did have the mismatch against Nas down there. It was a great kick, but the post-up might be there for Isaiah to close the game. Great you get to pick whoever you want to jump this ball, not the shooter. Okay.
I think they should get the coaches out there. Get Nick and Gene. Tip it off one time. Bobby P. Media crew. Bob Alicia doing a great job with the camera. That one went right to Cam. And RJ, how about he digging it out?
Salem with their own old board.
RJ Valise up to 17 points, second behind Benzel. Medlock Jr.'s had a good game, 7 off the bench, tied with Tommy Thomas for the reserves most on the Bears side. Calder again.
Tough. Just a natural scorer. You know, he can do it from all 3 levels. He's got a good feel. They got him a ball screen that time. You know, Marcus Golder been at this level of professional basketball for a while. He knows what he's doing, putting the ball in the hole.
Still trying to get a feel for this USBL website as you see Boozer check back in, replacing Kayanda. They have Golder at 15 points per game. It feels like this is the kind of game that he can put out there any given night.
And he's probably done it in the Armory a couple times over the years with these games of Vancouver versus Salem.
Which I think is one of the cool things about this year's schedule, with not as many games having to happen between the Pacific Northwest teams. You get a couple of more games, San Diego, Los Angeles, even out to Spokane now.
Yep.
It'll be nice to see Bakersfield on that list too in the Los Angeles area. Go to SalemCapitalsBasketball.com, learn more.
Cam had a post up there for a second.
Out to the top, Valise for 3 off to the left.
Good set, good situation, inside out, just missed the shot.
Salem 7 of 20 from deep. Crossover, Medlock Jr. keeps his pivot foot, dish it off, and Wicket scores.
Great patience there from both Mikey on the pass and Wicket finishing, because if he'd have taken that right away, it probably would have got blocked.
Wicket's up to double figures, third Bears player at that point. 8.5 remaining in the fourth. Salem leading by 3.
There, found him. Great flash post. Good patience from Los. Cam was working, letting him get across the lane to that easy layup.
8 of 11 shooting for Cam. He's out there guarding on the perimeter. Is he assigned to Golder? Had to be a switch.
Had to be a switch, yep. Good job from Zay down there. Uh-oh. A couple times now, Salem in transitions had some bobbles or problems.
Zay attacks.
Oh, wow.
And another bucket and one.
Another time, Zay's really good at going up on one side of the rim, flipping and using it to protect him from the shot blocker, his former teammate.
84-77, Salem has a chance to go up by its game most again with this free throw from Gentry. Give him 15 and the free throw. There you go.
Got it.
8-point lead for the Caps. 85-77.
Big possession for Vancouver here. They got to maintain contact here in the fourth quarter. As well as Salem's playing, you don't want to get down double figures.
Away from Golder to Medlock Jr. near side. He hit one.
He hurt us. He hurt us. Great play. Uh-oh. Trans again.
Maybe partially pieced by Golder. Foul on the rebound.
That's the third time this half that Salem's taken advantage of Vancouver almost being excited and celebrating a make and getting it down their throats right away off that. Very effective transition offense. A lot of people think of transition O as just after we force a stop. One of the most effective times is after they score. Let's come right back down at them. 7:40
left in the fourth. And Los to the foul line. He has 12. Gentry with 16 now. Lee's at 15 and Benzel at 22. Medlock Jr. just broke double digits. You have 4 double-digit score on the Bears side. 10 off the bench for Mikey.
Pretty well balanced for both teams. You've had some standout performances, but getting multiple guys in double figures for both rosters.
The thing that stands out to me is Salem shooting 46%. That's right about their season average. Vancouver's a 50% field goal team. They're at 40% for this game.
Credit the Capitals being handsy, getting some contests on shots.
Amos has been fairly quiet. He pulls up there.
I think that was entirely your fault. You jinxed everything. You guys a great pull-up, deep. And it does allow Vancouver to get back into this ball pressure that gave Salem some problems in the third quarter.
Yeah, that definitely is how this game opened up in the second half, with Salem committing a good amount of turnovers. They had 10 turnovers in the third quarter.
RJ off that ball screen has been a nightmare for Vancouver all day. He's just got a great feel for when and where his spots are off that screen.
Picks up Amos, good help from the top.
Charge.
Wicket.
Charge. Called it. RJ again.
I think it proves the point I was about to make. One thing that I notice about Valise, he's efficient with how he steps.
Yes.
On the defensive end, it happened there too. He got himself in position relatively quickly.
Absolutely. You know, the first level for a charge is willingness to put your body on the line. The second is exactly what you're speaking to. There is a technique. You've got to be set. You've got to be rotating early on time. You see RJ was definitely there before the guy took off.
Coming up to the 6-minute mark, 6.5 approaching. Backdoor, Los is by
Communication
himself.
issue. Great vision from Isaiah, but that's a Vancouver breakdown. One guy thought it was a switch, one guy thought they were staying.
Angel Jr. kind of blinking, might have got a little whack to the left eyeball. There's Medlock Jr. opposite side, that one skids off.
Oh, Isaiah looking long again.
Oh, Medlock Jr.
That'll happen.
Safety.
Really impressed with his competitiveness tonight, Mikey. Not a surprise to you, I'm sure, but my first time seeing him live, he's doing a lot of big things for Vancouver.
Quick release shooter in his Lewis and Clark days and banging off a defender there. Might have forced that one up.
Yep. Brett Holland's had a good half for Salem. Not on the scoring spot, but connecting. Rebounds, deflections, rotations.
Bounce pass right. Angel Jr.
Big shot.
Gentry wide open.
Big shot. He's shooting 55%. You can't not run at him if you're Vancouver. That was a tired defensive possession for Vancouver.
That's a good point. The depth, there's a lot of minutes out of the starting lineup for Vancouver in this game.
Yep.
They haven't played deeper into their bench for lengthy minutes in this game. Boozer's 3, good answer.
I think he heard me earlier say, let him shoot that. But even that kind of speaks to Vancouver being a little tired. He's not on the block. He never got to the block. He took the first touch.
Yeah, you've had at least 5 different Capitals reserves play double-digit minutes.
Tough shot.
Knocked down just 2 players for Vancouver. Again, 10-plus minutes off the bench. That was another double-digit lead for the Capitals.
That's a really tough shot. That's a really good shot from Amos. That's right on. Cam had a full wind-up to try to block that. That's just that thing you can't teach. Touch off the glass, really difficult. Think of a Kyrie Irving with just that natural ability.
Newark, New Jersey to Vancouver, Washington, but he gets blown by Valise.
Second time.
Yeah, there's the hook.
Second time he's been called. And that's something offensive guys are being taught more and more now. As you get by, use either your elbow, your forearm, or your palm to push and kind of rocket yourself forward off that defender.
Salem's going to use a timeout. I can't wait to talk to Jason Conrad, Coach Cortese, and RJ specifically.
There it is.
About Valise.
Let's see, right? You think it's probably here. Our angle's not good. You see Amos took that right kind of in the sternum. So I don't think that's a bad call. I think that the defender's hip to hip. He shouldn't have to get dislodged like that and wear it.
There's the Salem Capitals dancers back out on the floor. You can follow them at Salem Capitals Dancers on Instagram, as they are very active in the community, as are all of the Salem Capitals. This is really that bona fide community culture. They're always talking about different game day posts. Mentioned the Portland Winterhawks Rosebuds were here, and they even had a giveaway that they had on their page. Chance to get tickets to today's game. So you just see it's holistic, the approach. Yep. Coach Conrad, or I should say Jason Conrad, former coach.
You might as well just put it in. How many other hats does he wear?
I mean,
he used to play.
Played for the team, to your point. He's been out there as the MC, one of the best MCs I've seen in professional basketball. This whole thing is a volunteer-rich, personnel-rich chance to give everybody a way to build the way this game feels, and you can see it on a game day like this. I will admit, you said spring break, what kind of turnout you're going to get people coming home from trips or whatever. They had March 29th on their calendar. The fans are here.
Yep. Great show. And I also want a big thanks to the statisticians down at the table, getting us our stats every media timeout, every TV timeout, letting us actually have some stats to put behind the crazy things I might say on here.
Absolutely. It's great to have you here. As like I said, there's Brian, the public address announcer, on the side of the table with the staff all the way side to side with our stats crew and running them up to us in the Ox Box. This Ox Box is a great place to watch a game. You get basically a table of 4 that you can have, and then just down below there's these VIP bar tops that are available. And like I said, you can sit courtside for less than $40 per game, and it's just perfect. There's even spots right next to the Capitals players. You can see on the left side all the folks who are taking advantage of being able to sit courtside at a professional game.
And I think Jason's done a great job with the players on the roster. The interaction with the fans is intentional. The interaction with the fans is authentic. From Dominic Lawrence all the way through the starters, the people in the front row, the kids especially that come to the games, are going to get a chance to laugh and joke and dap up some of the Capitals as they play.
SalemCapitalsBasketball.com. Get your tickets. Friday we'll be back against Lilac City Legends, and then Bakersfield Majestic 2 weeks from this upcoming Friday. Pull up Amos. It's a quick bucket out of the timeout.
That's really all you can do defensively is, like, you know what, if he's going to make that pull up over our defense, we got to live with it because we're not giving up layup or 3. More pressure problems.
TJ Doman back in over to Medlock Jr. Sidestep 3. Hit it.
Little 5-0 run that took about 15 seconds for the Bears to get right back in this.
4:15 left in the fourth. It's 96-92. Hollins, Benzel.
Great pass. You know, even though the Capitals have turned it over 18 times, they have almost 20 assists. So you really like that they're trying to make the next good play.
That's Thomas in the corner. Amos to Golder.
No board. Great fight from Cam on that.
He's 9 of 12 shooting and has 11 rebounds now.
Look deep, look deep. There we go. TJ's going to have to finish this one. Good kick. Another one. Oh, I saw what he saw. Good idea. You know, We got a 46-44, 46-45 defensive, total rebound deficit. If you'd have told us that in the first quarter, you'd have said, "Oh, no way."
Yeah, this game got out of hand early on the boards for the Caps. 20-9, Vancouver had the edge, and it led to an 11-1 advantage in second chance points early.
Good seal. Oh, yep. Definitely a foul. But what else can you do? Your teammate was sealed up down there. You got to come down and help.
Salem kind of reversed that in the second quarter to tie the game up at 49 at halftime. Went 13-2 in the second quarter, second chance rebound.
You can see this on the switch, which is just, something you got to try and change up your defensive coverages. Brett got sealed down there. Normally he's okay handling that bigger body. Double dribble.
High-end double dribble.
Yep.
You called it.
Double dribble, the big fella. But once again, Brett Holland's on the rotation. He didn't expect the defender to be there. He was gathering for a dunk. That body show really caused that turnover.
8 points, 11 rebounds for Kayinda.
3-minute mark, 6-point lead. You want good possessions here. You don't want to stall. You just want to make sure you're running your best stuff. Like this. Let's say open three.
Hit it.
Great find. At this point, if you're Coach Nick, you just let RJ Valise play ball screen and trust his decisions.
9-point Capitals lead. Amos can't come up with one. Get out of that backcourt. Capitals quickly to the other side.
Right back. Get him going again. Just run it back. Sometimes coaches are hesitant to spam stuff that works. Make the defense stop it. Make them prove that it's not something you can go back to.
Control-C, Control-V works in Kip's book.
Great cut from TJ. Good delivery.
Shot clock was expiring.
Good follow from Brett.
Yeoman.
Golder in the open court. Trouble.
Release that just with .5 left. Three on the right side. No good.
2 minutes. Shorter shot clock in professional basketball, but you still got to take advantage of it when you're up late.
Oh, Hollins was open underneath.
Yeah.
Edlock Jr. was 2 for 2. He's missed either his last 2 or 3.
Yep.
In Vancouver.
That one's probably a little rushed for Vancouver for what they needed in that possession.
We're starting to run out of time.
Yep. Yeah. You got to have good looks here. The last 2 trips, nobody else has touched the ball.
Going out of that last time out, Salem had hit 10 of 13 in the quarter, 77% in the period.
It started at the very beginning, the very first possession, right? A cam dunk kind of got this whole flow. Offenses oftentimes feel, and they've had a great feel for it this half. Great play. TJ's had great energy today.
Watch out, Coach. TJ to the rim. He almost ran over Nick on his way to the basket.
Great play. He's been in transition a lot today, whether it's off D boards or defensive steals. He's had a nice contribution.
Vancouver down 11.
That was a force.
Out to the far side. Thomas missed it. Long pass.
That might be the nail.
Hit it!
Yeah, and one.
He let Kayinda know that ball went through and a foul.
Oh, illegal screen. A little frustration on the screen.
Offensive foul, Vancouver. 13-point lead for the Caps.
Give Isaiah's vertical vision all second half. He's probably had 4 or 5 home run balls. 4 of them have been completed for dunks. Right here, great catch from the big fella. You like to see the big guy from Vancouver challenge it, but that's the risk of being a shot blocker. You're going to be on a poster sometimes.
Maybe laugh earlier. Gentry was anticipating, went up and under. Cam went straight after the block attempt. Back to live. 105-92. Salem with a 13-point
Great back
lead.
cut.
And a foul.
Great back cut.
I think this game, as you talked about, felt like Vancouver at some point ran out of gas.
Yep.
The depth was definitely an issue. Salem utilized theirs a little bit better.
Yep, and I think as Salem got better spacing offensively, they were able to make easier decisions. Do I have my own layup? Do I have dunk for my teammate, or do I have kick three? And really use that to their advantage in the fourth quarter. Fantastic offense in the fourth quarter from the Capitals.
It's pretty impressive how effective Vancouver was kind of in the three-quarter to half-court area.
Yep.
But still, Salem actually has more steals in this game than Vancouver. That's surprising.
Yeah, they would have 16, 17 steals for the Caps against a team that was coming in one of the best teams at taking care of the ball in the Bears. So credit to the Capitals for turning up the way they could get without pressing, just in half court, in opportunistic rotations, getting their hands on balls.
Fun to see Coach Cortese smiling. And Vancouver down to 1:04 remaining with Salem up 107-92. Dama Lawrence out there dabbing up. He's not active in this game. Didn't see him on the roster. He's dressed out, but he wasn't on the list of players active. But Damo is that guy, Kip. No matter if he's on the floor or he's on the sideline, he's going to make sure his team is going.
It carries over to when he's in the community, helping young kids with basketball at camps and clinics, refs a lot of high school and club tournament games, always with a smile, always trying to grow the game. Just a really unique individual that's infectious with his energy.
You see Austin and Jazzy, they're the on-court MCs, but look at the upper left corner of your screen. Jason Conrad, the owner, is rocking the pom-poms. He's out there with the Capitals dancers, full bore.
You know, it makes me think of like Boy Scout badges of all the things you've accomplished and done. Like Jason, in terms of an owner of a professional franchise, I bet he's done every task that is on the organization chart list that needs to be done.
I think they're giving away the 50-50 raffle right now. It's always a big deal. I was up at the Winterhawks right before, I think it was their regular season home finale. And that one was up to somewhere in the 22,000 range for the 50-50. You come to a game like this, you come home with an extra couple $100.
Yep.
Up to maybe 1,000 with a crowd like this. That's always super fun.
Another reason to come back.
Oh, no, they're not doing a raffle. It's going to be a half-court shot chance. Look at how quickly the shooter shed the jacket. Ready to go. Oh. He wanted one more. They're not going to let him reload.
You know, on a night, Ryan, when you have 21 turnovers like the Capitals do, a really nice way to balance that out and survive that is 21 assists. And that's what they've been able to do. Really unselfish. And also, as a coach, it makes you're like, you know what? Some of our turnovers are us trying to be great passers, and we can live with that.
31-16 points off takeaways, too, in Salem's favor. So can't say enough about my first chance to be on the microphone for a USBL game. This is a historic league revived. Jason Conrad, a big reason behind that, and another chance for these players to become the next Manute Bol or Darrell Armstrong. Could be good things on the horizon for a lot of these players.
You know, high quality basketball, not just athleticism, shooting, length, you know, everything you want to see. If you take your kids and say, we're going to a professional game today, you'll see that here at the Armory.
Yeah, we talked about that with Zay Gentry earlier this week about the kids who come on the floor. We'll see them in a little bit, getting autographs, getting a chance to get high fives. This is professional basketball.
Yep.
They don't care if you've played in the NBA or not.
Right.
They have a chance to look at, 6'11" Cam Bensel and be like, oh my gosh, you're the real deal.
Marcus Golder almost had Zay on a poster there.
Final 43 seconds. Salem took control with the Cam Bensel stretch of his first three buckets going in, a couple of inside shots, and then a three-pointer. He's really wanting the ball one more time, but just out of his reach.
You know, this is where you're excited. The game is basically over. You just want to make sure no foolishness happens, whether it's injury or something silly. Let's just get out of here and celebrate with the fans.
He only played 5 minutes in the first quarter as TJ gets a nice block. And it seemed almost like in some ways Nick was trying to reserve Bensel for later on in the game, and he unleashed him, and he's played pretty much the entire fourth quarter.
Great point. Great point. It speaks to the second half. Started with the second unit. Maybe that 6-minute little rest allowed Cam to finish as strong as he did.
Kick out, three ball, no good for Vancouver. It's been a tough stretch for the Bears. The tail end of this quarter, 6 of 12. Went to 8 of 19, so they had made just 2 of their last 7 going that last time out.
Yep. I think it all speaks to what you mentioned. A little fatigue, but also pair that with a smart rotation from coach and the Capitals' depth. That goes to organizational signing folks that you think you can actually put in the game. And that allowed them to get the victory today.
Look at this place. Unique at this level of basketball to have an arena like the Salem Capitals have. It is so much fun to be here. And a chance to watch professional basketball. Bensel going back to line. He can get up to 27 if he hits both of these.
Nice little double-double to start the home season for him.
Be nice to see Mo Smith get back. He rolled an ankle earlier this week. You have Jack Boydell ready to get back in the mix as well. Sharpshooter from your Willamette Bearcats. There's Jordan Lynn to the side of Smith. He was released this week. Been part of this franchise for a while. 109-92. Amos weaves, scores almost. Popped out.
It's kind of the tail of the fourth quarter there, isn't it?
Holland's going to hammer it down. He does. It won't count. And it's a nice little exclamation point in the footnote of the basketball
Absolutely.
game.
Absolutely. That's a big fourth quarter. A lot to build on for the Capitals. It's always easier to teach off W's. And so this film, I'd start this film with the fourth quarter.
At Vancouver coming in with a 5-2 record. They'll fall to 5-3. Salem had a couple of games in hand, if you will, playing later in the schedule than Vancouver has. Improves to 4-2, gets their second home victory. And you'll have the teams exchange pleasantries and then get going around with all these kids and fans getting to the floor, a chance to get high fives from all the Capitals dancers and the players. It is absolutely stellar community culture in Oregon's capital city.
Fun night. I shouldn't even say night. Late afternoon, great time to be out here. Credit to the big three for the Capitals with Zay, RJ, and Cam.
It's high flying at times. Vancouver showed signs, but Salem made some good defensive plays, took some charges. And it was a mixture of different Capitals players. Zay Gentry, though, part of it with Cam Benzel in the fourth quarter.
And really when the game got up to, with the tempo and the pace of the game increased, Salem's skill level was able to overcome the length of Vancouver. We mentioned the fatigue for Vancouver, but really Salem can put more shooting out there and a little more creators than Vancouver has.
3 straight losses for the Bears. That's definitely going to sting for Vancouver. They'll go back to the drawing board in Yakima on Friday and Saturday. But Zay was feeling it at one point, and then 2 big men flying up, and Cam slams it down.
With the ugly face, too. Didn't say anything, didn't risk it technical, but definitely let him know that I am aware I just put you on a poster.
We'll celebrate through the PA speakers and a round of high fives to close out this broadcast on USBL TV. So much fun. And the Salem Capitals get the victory in a rivalry matchup for our entire Bobby P Media crew. And Kip Ione right next to me. I'm Ryan Goff. Thanks for having fun with us. We'll talk to you on Friday for another Caps home game. Get your tickets at salemcapitalsbasketball.com. Until then, so long from the Jackson's Body Shop broadcast booth on USBL.TV.